This is Kelly Martin with Home and Farms Realty, all things horse farms. So I'm starting this podcast because that is what we do. That is who we are. We sell a lot of horse farms. We live the horse farm life. A lot of our agents are horse farm owners themselves, all different kinds of horses, all different kinds of disciplines. We ourselves have horses, and we meet all kinds of very interesting people from all different disciplines, all different lines of work when it comes to horses, from breeders to trainers to hobbyists. Different clientele, different friends. We travel the country competing. We travel the country meeting different people, and we've got agents that travel the country meeting different people and just being around horse people. So I thought, why not start a podcast, talk to different people, get different perspectives. A lot of people think, oh, you do horses, so everybody talks the same language, but it's really like a horse farm people are like a continent, and there's like a bunch of different countries that speak different languages. Like a hunter under saddle doesn't speak the same language as a reiner. So there's different disciplines, and there's a lot to learn about horse farms, and that is what we're going to do with the show. We're going to talk about horse farms, from living at them, working at them, buying them, selling them. Hopefully get some really great people on here, from trainers to stallion owners, and just get different perspectives. So again, I'm Kelly Martin with Home and Farms Realty, and I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. I grew up with horses. I grew up from more of like the 4-H level style horses, where you'd get a horse from somebody who hadn't touched their horse in a while and may not have anything to do with it anymore, and was given a couple of those project horses that was like, here, if you can get it to work right, you can show it. It was very difficult, but it definitely put a lot of miles and a lot of lessons that I learned the hard way, definitely the hard way. One time I took my Arabian on a trail ride at my brand new hunt seat saddle. I thought would be a brilliant idea, and I was probably 9 years old. Needless to say, he decided to get down in the middle of a trail and ruined my brand new saddle, and the whole thing was a hot mess. But so I grew up with horses. My mom grew up with horses. We all the way back, great grandparents had horses, so we've always had horses, different breeds, different disciplines. So I got out of horses when I went off to college. And then I met my husband there, and we got married, started a business, and had 4 children. After the 4th child, I was like, you know what? I'm really ready to get back into horses. And at the time, my mom was very into barrel racing. She got into quarter horses, completely got out of the Arabians, which the Arabians were the last thing I was in. Got out of the Arabians, got into the quarter horses, and then she got into barrel racing. She was doing barrel racing very competitively. Her and her girlfriend at the time were traveling the country, going to all different kinds of competitions, winning money, saddles. She even has a giant life-size cutout of herself and her barrel horse, taking one of the turns, and if you get her talking about it, she will demonstrate it for you, where you sit back on your pockets and you let it turn and burn. And that cutout is sitting in her bedroom still, and my mom is in her 70s, so it's quite cute. But yeah, barrel racing definitely wasn't for me. So I kind of talked to her about, hey, I want to get back into horses. And at the time, her and her girlfriend were getting 2-year-olds in and breaking them out, and seeing what they were going to sell and what they were going to use for prospects. And cute little 2-year-old filly came in, black, and she was a doll. So I'm like, I want that one. Bought that one, and took her to a trainer. And at the time, it happened to be a reining trainer. And that is where I got introduced to reining for the first time. So, ended up selling that cute little mare and buying an old reining horse. This guy, he was an old, wise show horse that knew his job. But if you know anything about old, wise show horses and back in that day, they're not the same really as they are right now. And he was 19 and he was in Appaloosa. And so I learned how to do all the maneuvers on him. I had to wear like super long spurs on him because to get him to do anything or to go anywhere was almost impossible. I mean, at the time I was only 5'2", maybe 110 pounds at best. So just not a ton of leg strength. Yeah. So this guy was a push horse all day long at the practice pen. I did everything I needed to do. I signed up for my first show. My husband and my kids were there. My mom was also there because she also got into reining and she got herself a horse as well. And got ready to do my very first class, which was a run-in class. And now, mind you, if anybody knows about horses, you know where I'm probably going with this. He was a 19-year-old old, wise show horse. So they open up the gate. They're like, go on in. And I went running. And to my surprise, this horse ran. He ran and he stopped and he rolled back. And then he ran and he stopped and then he rolled back. And he did that. We went through the whole pattern. I was scared to death. I had no idea that a reining horse went fast. I guess I probably should have watched some of the reining horse shows. I got done with him. I was shaking. I went up on a hill. I was crying. My husband's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, nobody told me that reining horses go fast. I thought it was coming in here to do like a horsemanship pattern. It was shocking to me. Wasn't sure if I was going to like it because, again, I thought it was just a fun little horsemanship pattern. But to my surprise, it wasn't. So we got through that weekend, kept riding a little bit from there, but my husband got orders to relocate. So we relocated to Tennessee. And that is actually the point we sold all of our businesses. At the time, we did have a bunch of different restaurants. So we sold everything. We moved to Tennessee. I think it was there for maybe 12 months and might have been 18 months. But my mom brought 2 of the horses down. And my daughter at the time was really getting into riding and she wanted her horse from her grandma's house. So my mom so nicely brought them down. And we started riding again. And that's when I decided, hey, I do want to get back into reining. And got back into reining and, started that whole process again. So during that time, I started selling real estate. And when we sold all of our businesses and we had relocated to Tennessee, I took a lot of that knowledge that I had with sitting on advertising committees, running with multi-million-dollar budgets, and I applied it directly towards my real estate career. I hit the ground running. At the time, right after I got my license, I decided that I was going to specialize in selling horse farms. And at the time, the broker that I had kind of laughed me off and was like, that's not really a thing here. I'm thinking, this is Tennessee. What the heck do you mean that's not a thing here? That's kind of crazy to me. I think of Tennessee, I think of cowboys and horse ranches and, all that stuff. So I went ahead and did it anyways. I developed Home and Farms Group, which initially started as just me. And then I got pretty busy with specializing in horse farms, multi-million-dollar horse farms. I was licensed in Tennessee and in Georgia. So that took off. I added a couple members to my team to represent buyers. And then I ended up moving across Tennessee to West Tennessee down into Mississippi. And when I did that, I went ahead and got my Mississippi license. So then I was licensed in Georgia, Tennessee, and Mississippi. And again, I specialized in selling horse farms there. And then we moved up into the west region of Tennessee, about an hour and a half outside of Nashville, and specialized in selling horse farms there. And then I added my Alabama license, and I did become a broker. At that point, I took my team and I started my own brokerage, which is Home and Farms Realty. And that is what we do. We specialize in horse farms. And there is a bunch of us that we're very knowledgeable. We're very knowledgeable in real estate. We are very knowledgeable in horse farms. It's a complex deal when you're buying and selling farms. It's not as easy as people think, where they're just going to price it whatever the house supports and then go from there. So we specialize in horse farms. So I thought that's why we're going to do this podcast, because I'd like to get the knowledge out there, for buyers and sellers and maybe agents that are thinking about specializing in horse properties. How do you distinguish yourself different? What do you need to know about horse properties? What's farm management like? How do you tell the difference between good ground, good fencing, bad fencing, good barn, bad barn? These are all things that we're going to talk about: barn design, barn maintenance. Hopefully we get some people on here that are really knowledgeable in building barns and function, layout, stuff like that. All different kinds of people we want to get on here. Stallion owners from the perspective of owning a stallion and keeping it at a breeding barn, or owning a stallion and keeping it at your own barn. So that's what we're all about, and I am super excited to get these podcasts out to you guys. And make sure you subscribe and listen so that you can learn more in everything about horse farms, and the knowledge from me, from the people that we have on there, and hopefully we can learn and all grow together.